Just before today's video starts, I would just like to remind all of you that it is not made for kids. It's for adults to enjoy too. So with that said, please enjoy the fucking video.
Muck to the rescue!
What's going on, guys? Liam for Stirl back again, and it's time once again for another episode review of Bob the Builder. Boy, I tell you, choosing episodes to review is not easy at all, especially for a show like this. But you guys really helped me out by voting for the character you wanted to see in today's review. And I thank you guys so much for your voting, it really helped. So, based on the final results, today's review will be dedicated to the cheeky red dump truck himself, Muck. I'm genuinely surprised that Muck won the poll. He must be a tough favourite if you all voted for him. But I'm not complaining, I love Muck too. You all certainly gave me interesting suggestions as well, such as Muck Gets Stuck and Muck's Monster. But just like choosing episodes, it also wasn't easy choosing a Muck episode to review. I mean, come on, he has a total of 20 leading roles throughout the classic, Project Builder and Ready Steady Build sagas, including his lead role in Built to be Wild. But after a bit of thinking and rewatching certain episodes, I finally decided on the Muck episode for today's review. So please sit back and enjoy my review of the Season 8 episode, Racing Muck. Let the race begin. Racing Muck is the 4th episode of Season 8. Bob, Muck, Dizzy and Scoop are preparing to build a swimming pool. Then Bob asks Muck to go to JJ's yard to pick up the tiles he ordered, but also warns Muck to be careful since they're highly breakable. Once Trix loads Muck with the tiles, Muck carefully heads back to Bob, but is suddenly stopped by Spud, who asks Muck for a lift since he's running late. Spud then gives Muck directions back to Bob by going straight through the field, which is very bumpy. When Muck arrives back on site, he's unfortunately told by Bob that the tiles are broken due to his rushing, which really upsets Muck. Bob rings JJ and tells him to send Skip and Trix over with new tiles. While on site, Muck sadly expresses to Skip how he wishes he could be more careful. Skip kindly offers to show Muck how to go slowly and carefully while he's on break, to which Bob agrees. After some practice with Skip and Trix, Muck successfully learns how to go slow and heads back to Bob. However, Scoop notices something in Muck's digger, which turns out to be a piece of old pot. This discovery leads to Bob to make an important phone call, which is revealed to be Mr. Stevens, the archaeologist. Mr. Stevens, with the help of Muck, slowly discovered that the site used to be an amphitheatre where they used to hold races. Muck is delighted by this discovery, and Mr. Stevens requests that Bob builds a visitor centre, to which he agrees to. Once the visitor centre is complete, Bob hangs a special plaque for Muck, since he found the site by being a very careful helper. And we conclude with Muck, Skip and Trix having their own race. Really entertaining. I think rewatching this episode made me understand why Muck won the poll. Racing Muck is a truly good episode, being very entertaining but also educational, just like Bob and the Big Freeze. Let's begin by talking about Muck himself. Muck really has a great character development in this episode. He starts off being the young hyperactive child he's always been, but is still hard-working when he's with Bob. But this episode also draws full attention to Muck's habit of rushing and being a bit careless, which we have seen in multiple episodes. It's only after his interaction with Spud that we see Muck's rushing habit causing problems, despite him not knowing about it. And when Muck realizes what happened, this is where we feel sympathy for him. While his rushing might have caused an accident, we know he didn't do it intentionally and was just trying to save time. No thanks to you, Spud. The montage of Skip and Trix showing Muck how to slow down is a big highlight of this episode, because this is where his character development begins to change. And after this scene, he truly sticks to his promise about slowing down, because we observe him being slow when he's helping Mr. Stevens discover the site of the amphitheater. This scene reminded me of the season 4 episode Scoop's Stegosaurus, since Scoop and Mr. Ellis portray a similar approach to discovering the dinosaur bones. The plaque that Bob hangs up at the end not only exhibits Muck's discovery of the amphitheater, but it's also a way of showing Muck's achievement of going slow and doing something right. Muck was a great character to use for this episode, and it does a terrific job of showing the lesson of being slow and steady. Really good character development from Muck. Two other characters deserve some discussion too, and that's none other than Skip and Trix. I love that these two were included in this episode, as they are both shown to be the wise secondary characters who help the main character with his difficulties. From my perspective, I always saw Skip and Trix as siblings, because they have such a great bond with each other and they really do act like siblings, with Skip being the wise and sensible brother, while Trix is the young and hyperactive sister. But as I said earlier, the montage of them showing Muck how to slow down is my favourite scene in this episode, and it truly shows how caring and reliable they both are when they are together. And I also love how they both showed up at the end of the episode and congratulated Muck for his achievement. And they even joined Muck in the race at the end too. Skip and Trix are such great characters, and I'm still annoyed that they weren't used again after the classic series. And yes, I do know Skip made an appearance in a Project Build It episode, but I still wish they came to Sunflower Valley. Oh well, we can't always get what we want, I suppose. I first saw this episode on a 2-on-1 DVD which included 10 episodes as well as 7 shorts. Highly recommended, by the way. And I really enjoyed it back then. So much so that I would always watch this episode first whenever I watched that DVD. Yeah, that just shows how much I enjoyed this episode. I really liked Mr. Stevens. He was such a great character to use, and the voice Rob Rackstraw used for him was so funny. I could listen to this guy over and over again. And at least this episode handled the lesson of being slow much better compared to certain episodes of the hit era of Thomas. Writer James Henry did a terrific job writing this episode, and I love the characters he chose to include. And yes, I also know he wrote Snowman Scoop, you don't need to tell me. Speaking of which, I find it both strange and kind of amusing that James Henry only wrote one episode from seasons 4 to 9, but each of his written episodes are about a different member of the Can Do crew, minus Wendy unfortunately. But yeah, Racing Muck is a truly good story. And that brings us to the end of my review of Racing Muck. Great character development from Muck, Skip and Trix are amazing side characters, and is overall an entertaining episode. I truly understand why you all wanted a Muck episode review, and I was glad to give it to you. So with that, I'm going to give Racing Muck a 10 out of 10. This dump truck truly is a great character. But now, it's time to hear your opinions. Do you like Racing Muck? And do you agree that it's a great episode? Feel free to comment your thoughts down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this Muck episode review. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like this video, comment down below your thoughts, and subscribe to my channel for more videos to come. But with that, I'm going to take a break from uploading videos for a while because I really need to focus on college now since I'm back again. But don't worry, I'll try to give you guys more videos when I can. And what review will be next, you might ask? Well, you'll have to wait and see for that. But until then, I'm Liam Fitzgerald, and I will see you all next time. Later, folks.